Okay everybody, I had a few minutes to record a video here, so I'm just hopping on live. These are my unfiltered, unprepared thoughts on a few things. This is Brandon, by the way. The name of the channel currently is Crypto Trades. I have no idea if it'll stay that way for a while, but that's our name currently. What I kind of want to run through here real fast was just a look at my watch list and to look at the charts and see why it is I'm watching these projects. Top of the list, of course, we have Bitcoin. He's the king. No further introduction needed. Ethereum, and Link and ADA. So I've got my four main projects that I'm tracking and I'll be investing in this cycle are these four. That's why I have the USD pairs up for them, because I want to be able to watch them versus the USD as well as against Bitcoin. Link I had a video on yesterday. Take a look at that. ADA, it's my favorite of the Ethereum competitors, we'll call it, the platform tokens. There's a lot of reason for that. I think their technology is really good. I like their leader, and I really like their transparency and a few other things. But their tech and their leadership seem to be pretty well put together. So that's two of the big reasons I like them. And also their developer tools, I think, are probably going to end up being the best in the industry. So, but I'll have a dedicated video on Cardano here, and I'll dive into a lot of detail. Quickly looking at the charts, we've got our Ethereum BTC. ETH broke out of this descending wedge very strongly. We're waiting for a bit of a retest, probably some consolidation here, and then maybe add to some ETH here pretty soon, hopefully. I'll be watching it on both these charts. I do have a limit order in on Ethereum at $488, I believe. I'll be looking to adjust that as the charts dictate. But sorry for the background noise too. You're going to hear a lot of noise. I've got crypto mining rigs and servers running. I've got my AC currently isn't on, so it's not too loud. I'm back to the charts here, and I've got some noise in the background of the house, but deal with it. All right, so our link chart looking great. We had a little bit of a decline, but we're back on the upslope here. This looks like it may be a really good time here to add some link pretty soon. Look at the USD chart here. It looks, we've made a nice run. We're at the top of this channel. I do have a limit order in at 1330. Might end up bumping that up a little bit here, kind of to max the bottom of this channel. But I did sell some up here right as we hit the top of this channel, and I'm looking to add back at some point here on the USD side. But on the BTC side, it's looking like we might get a nice resumption signal before too long here. So you might look at, when this thing bottoms out, buying at the top of one of these candles coming up here somewhere, something like that. That'd be a good idea. All right, ADA, she's a beaut. This thing's gonna rocket. I promise you. I promise you all. We're gonna see a return to this level. I promise it. As soon as I promise it, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting us to absolutely rock it when Goguen goes live here early next year, which is the smart contracts capability on ADA. We're really going to start to see some traction here. Any bad news, any little bitty hiccup, delay, whatever it is for Ethereum 2.0, that combination of any hiccup there and a successful launch of Goguen early next year, it's going to send ADA just absolutely through the roof. Now I've got on my list here, I've got Polkadot. Dot's a neat little project. It's got a lot of people interested in it, so that's really kind of why I'm watching it. If you look at it, they're trying to be one of these Internet of Blockchain type projects where they allow multi-chain environments, cross-chain registries, cross-chain computation, things like that. So it's more than just data transfer, but a lot of it is they want to be the glue that interconnects different blockchains. So we talked about yesterday how Link is kind of the gateway between the outside world and the new age world of cryptocurrencies. Well, Dot wants to be that interconnect, the main gateway interconnect of cryptocurrencies. The reason I'm less bullish on Dot versus Link is because I think projects like Ethereum and ADA, the developer community there are probably going to build a lot of really good interfaces straight to the platforms. And with Link being a ubiquitous way to get data in and out, I don't see Dot having a play there. So I think Dot's going to struggle versus like just the ADA and Ethereum communities and their ability to build interconnectivity themselves. But we'll see how that all plays out. Algorand, I have them on my list because it's a platform like ADA or Ethereum. It's a Ethereum co-founder actually, Silvio Silvio Macaulay. I think he's an MIT professor, I believe. Very technical, very smart guy. It's a very good project as far as like they had a lot of strength coming out the gate. Very well thought through platform. However, it's really built for speed. At the end of the day, it's trying to solve that cryptocurrency trilemma, but they don't have anywhere near the level of planning, the level of roadmap and development activity that ADA has. So it's a side thing to keep an eye on. But when you look at the technology, ALGO and ADA are similar as far as their core capabilities and their technology. The big difference is ADA has way more traction with the development community. They've got a lot of parallel projects, and their leadership seems to have put together a better plan. They've taken their time. They're not fully launched yet. Even they're taking their time to develop and deploy their blockchain, their whole ecosystem very scalably the first time without having to go back and rework it. And transparency is another big one. Algo's a little bit more secretive about how they do some of their stuff, and ADA is a lot more, or Cardano's a lot more forthcoming with exactly what their technology does. All right, XMR, Monero, one of my favorites. He's been kind of beat down here. I actually, on the CTM group, I put in an alert, kind of, I guess you call it an alert, but I was looking at this area right here. We broke out, and I made a purchase here. I shaved a little bit right as we came up here. Actually, it was a perfect sell, and then I held on to most of it though, and I ended up getting out when we broke down here. But that was a great trade. But the only problem, it's just been so beat down. I have not been talking about it or thinking about it much from a technical perspective. Now, the use case for Monero. Okay, so Bitcoin is a public ledger, right? So everything you do on Bitcoin is completely traceable. In theory, you should be able to light up a Bitcoin wallet with some anonymity and be able to transact with some anonymity. But the reality is it's very easy for governments to regulate that these exchanges, know your customer. So they can regulate getting information about that. And with the Travel Act and things like that, we're going to have this data being shared amongst these exchanges and the government. So at the end of the day, this whole thing about Bitcoin being used for nefarious things is completely ridiculous, because it's literally the most traceable way that you could transfer money. So if you want to get caught, use Bitcoin. I mean, it's silly. A bag full of US dollars, or a briefcase full of US dollars, or a briefcase full of gold is far more untraceable than Bitcoin is. So anyway, Monero though, if you really want to keep anonymity, basically Monero, instead of using wallet addresses that are known, that are well understood, it uses ephemeral wallets, right? So when you do a transaction, it's an ephemeral, which means it only lives for the time of that transaction, and it's extremely hard to trace. Not impossible, but extremely hard to trace. But there's a lot of privacy, with the Monero project. That's the idea of it. It's all about privacy. So being able to do transactions without everybody knowing your business, basically. Both good and bad. So it's for several reasons, it's not a project I talk a lot about. I do think it has merit, and I watched the charts on it. We had a good pop. We were able to stack some sats on that one, but it's been just in a downtrend since then, so I haven't talked about it much. BNB, my favorite exchange is Binance. This is their token. Now, Binance is a lot more than exchange, actually. They're pretty active in the development community, and they fund a lot of projects and things. But there's some stuff being built on Binance. Don't want to get into it today. It'd take too long. But it's worth watching, and I hold some Binance just because if you are using Binance, guys, one other thing. If you're using Binance, be sure to hold some BNB, Binance coin, because you get and whenever you do a transaction, it pulls from your BNB and they give you a discount on all your transfer trading transactions. So it's a good way. Binance is by far the cheapest platform for trading anyway. If you're going to be very active and doing a lot of trades, definitely get on Binance. But if you need to have a small balance of BNB to pay for those transaction fees and get a discount. But it's a good platform. I happen to hold it just because the transaction fees as well. So keeping an eye on it. It's not been looking too hot here recently. We got some work to do before the chart gets exciting. Atom Cosmos. Yeah, I have it on here because a lot of people like it. Frankly, it's another one of those Internet of Blockchains. It's kind of a modular architecture. I believe they got these hubs and zones architecture. Any of these Internet of Blockchain things, I'm just not sold on. The Cardano Foundation has a bunch of really good ideas about how to build interoperability, and they're big into that. They want to make sure that natively, Charles Hoskins, the founder of Cardano, he talks a lot about how there's going to be a lot of ecosystems. There's not going to be like one clear. There might be one clear winner, but there's going to be a bunch of them, and they're working really hard to build interoperability. So again, these type of projects, I think they get some hype. It's worth watching the charts on. Again, he's pretty beat down. He's looking like he might get some support here in this little breakout. Maybe this is let's draw something up here. Actually, it looks like we had a descending wedge. Yeah, we broke it up a descending wedge. It's not a really very exciting breakout, I guess. So probably is that kind of a descending wedge? I don't know. I don't really like it. Actually, now that I draw it, it's not something like that. Way back here, is this like a continuation of some trend here? Maybe, don't know. Yeah, so maybe he's looking like getting some traction. The fact that he broke out of a descending wedge is clearly what this is going on here. I don't know how to exactly draw it. It looks like it's probably what's going on here anyway. And he hasn't done much since then. I don't know what to tell you. And maybe he's about to really blow. Might really keep an eye on that one. I'm going to flip that to blue here, just to do some more analysis on that. All right, OXT. This is one that Heath brought up to us as a community. Heath and I put. Well, on Heath's alert, we were watching. He was watching. It was sitting right on support, and I don't know, one of us, maybe he noticed. I don't know, somebody noticed. So yeah, it was sitting right on support. No, this is the BTC chart. The USD chart looked a little bit different, but it was similar. It was just sitting right on some support. It was actually on the USD chart. It was up and just sitting on some key support, and we noticed this little bit of a wedge building. And so I entered sitting right on support when Heath brought it up to me very first, because I was like, well, it literally has no downside. And then I think I entered another trade on the breakout here, and then we had a breakout. I sold at 34, and then I was looking at entering another trade over here somewhere, but I put a tight stop loss on that. Actually, that was last night, and I don't know if I'm in it or not. I might still be in that trade, actually, honestly. I don't know. I'll have to go look. Okay. But OXT looks like we're getting a buy pretty much right here on the BTC chart, a CTM buy right now, frankly. With this sideways action, I don't know if Jordan would agree with this or not. What I do is when I see these things go sideways, I actually move my buy order up to the top of one of these test wicks. I don't look at the body anymore. So we've had so much sideways action here. I want to see, it's more or less a breakout play, but you have the same idea, right? So we broke out, retest, consolidation, and I know Jordan doesn't like to take breakouts, but I mean, if in the alt space, like taking a breakout of this local top right here is probably worth doing. In theory, the safer trade is to wait for that retest and resumption, but in my opinion, that this alt, it's going to be so explosive, you're not going to get a lot of these. You're going to just get breakouts. So maybe something for us to ask Jordan about what his thoughts are with these alts and this whole breakout, retest, resumption, since we have a really hard time catching those a lot of times. But this is setting up nicely. I mean, this thing might break out. Okay, so what is OXT? It's, what is the name of the project now? Okay, OXT project. I have to Google this. Hold on, Googling stuff. OXT project. It's called Orchid. That's it, Orchid. Okay. So I actually had heard of Orchid because of what's his name, the Barstool founder guy got pumped and dumped on in this name. I don't really like that guy, but Orchid is a VPN service, so it's a crypto-powered VPN, they call it. I'm looking at their website now. Basically, you can buy bandwidth is really what it boils down to. So you can, for your private VPN on your phone or whatever, you can buy bandwidth through a decentralized crypto kind of currency powered system here. Now, what's neat what I don't like, it's a very specific use case with VPN, but it seems like after reading the white paper that there's actually this platform has more potential. I wonder if they wanted to kind of really focus on a use case to get traction, and they're going to open it up. But they got this really cool thing called nano payments, and the way nano payments work, it's built on like a peer-to-peer, and long story short, the whole Lightning network is similar to this, but it's a manual process of setting up these links, as opposed to like an automatic peer-to-peer type setup. I was kind of interested in how they did this nano payments, because in the whole Lightning payment, the Bitcoin Lightning network, there was a lot of discussion about using a peer-to-peer model to build the adjacencies for the Lightning network, but there was a lot of discontent about how that would work, and it seems like these Orchid folks have figured that out. So I need to dive in more to the nano payments and how they work. It seems like that might be a more elegant solution for like a Lightning Layer 2 network than what we're doing today with it. But the Lightning network today, by the way, is terrible on Bitcoin. It has its merits, but it's pretty terrible. All right, Stellar. I've got Stellar on here again because it's got a lot of, it gets a lot of hype and it can really pump. I'm not the biggest fan of the project. The chart's not looking too very great. It's not looking stellar until recently. It's not stellar. Like I have a resistance there. Maybe we should pull the resistance down. Well, let me just clone this. I think that's a good resistance line. Obviously, there was some there, right where we're at, which is. But I think we can probably say we're going to get some support somewhere in here. Maybe right here. Maybe right there. I see some touches, quite a few touches on the 12-hour. So again, I trade everything on 12-hour. So let's see here. That's a decent amount of touches. What happened here? Came back, tested. So when I do my lines, I really don't care if I get a peak or I'm looking for like the best combination of peaks and bodies. I put more emphasis on peaks than I do on bodies, but sometimes when you're going through a price area that's been interacted with a lot, sometimes you have to live with just figuring out where the most touches of the bodies, the closes are and openings are of those candles. But you know, I'm not an expert per se at that. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at there. It's an ugly chart. We've had some consolidation. Hopefully, we're breaking out of this very, very bad downtrend. I would wait for us to get above here. I'm definitely gonna wait till we get above here and get a breakout retest resumption of that level before I do anything. Now about the project, let's see here. It's kind of a internet of blockchain idea, but it's really about money. And in theory, they have some ability to transact with legacy financial systems too. But they want to be able to allow people to trade and transact money of all types ubiquitously. So basically, if I'm sending somebody money, in a foreign country that doesn't want to use U.S. dollar, I can send U.S. dollar and it can be sent to them in whatever form that I want, or in Bitcoin, right? So I can send somebody Bitcoin and they'll receive it as DAI or whatever currency they want, right? That's kind of the idea. Again, one of these internet of there's probably more to the project that I need to understand. This I hate to say it, but because I do some trading, I look at charts too and I go, this chart is so ugly that maybe there's a reason why everybody else has kind of been off of it until recently. So I need to figure out. I know they got a network upgrade recently. So what caused this spike right here is they had a network upgrade. I need to read about that. I don't know anything about what they were doing there. AAVE. What is AAVE stand for? Why do I not remember AAVE? What's the name of the project? Blend. Let's see here. Yeah. So non-custodial liquidity project. Let's see here about the AAVE protocol. I'm drawing a blank, guys, on what the AAVE lend protocol, what their key. I'll get back to this one. It's got a really good looking chart though. You see, it's been picking up a lot of steam versus Bitcoin. Let's go back a bit here, make sure it's already broken out. It's looking strong. We're obviously in an uptrend. Why can I not remember what AAVE does? It's killing me. I don't know if that's really a trend, but obviously more recently. Some levels here to look at. there's something back here. You see this price level. There was definitely some interaction, and we kind of interacted with it. We ignored it and blew through it a lot recently, but that's definitely A level. Although we've ignored it. Oh, you see here as I drew that line, these touches here. So maybe right in between there, somewhere there's a kind of a more of a range than a level, I say, than a specific price level. And I'm seeing here, man, this is tough to find support on this time frame. It's just all over the place. That bottom peak right there. I mean, you see, kind of peaked out there. Touch resistance. Definitely broke right the heck above it. Barely interacted with it. Oh, we broke it, came back below it, above it, touched it, off we went. Yeah, that's a good level. I like it. All right, close enough for now. I'll tighten these up as I work on these later. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. AAVE is a decentralized lending platform. So basically, it's I know the other term used with it is lending. It's lending platform. I haven't really done a lot of reading up on the project per se. I need to do more reading on it. There was a reason. There's a reason. AAVE is kind of like a decentralized version of BlockFi, as far as I'm aware. I need to do some more research on the project, though. There was some specific reason I added it to my list, and I had it on my notes to watch. And I'll have to go remember what that was, but it's got a strong looking chart. I mean, it's obviously been gaining versus BTC, so they're doing something right. So it's a good one to keep track of. But they're coming into maybe a level of support, like I was saying here. I need to work on this chart a bit more. I don't know what to make. I mean, it's obviously in a downtrend, and then we broke out of whatever this level was here that we're fighting against. I don't know where to draw that. We get the idea. We broke out of whatever level this was. That was a sharp breakout of something with that downtrend. So we broke out of that initial downtrend there. Still, let's connect these 2 points here real fast. Doing this on a 1080p, like I have a 4K screen and I'm recording in 1080p. I'm trying to, it's like a little bitty tiny section of my screen I'm using to record the video. Trying to do charts in this little bitty section is super annoying. All right, I'm gonna work on this chart. I don't know what to make of some things here. Something like that, maybe. We do have a downtrend. When do we clearly regain? We broke out of some sort of, I guess, we broke out of a really strong downtrend. We hit some level that the market liked, and/or obviously some news accompanied that. I mean, it looks like we're definitely headed back up in the intermediate term. It's just a matter of, is this sustainable, or are we going to go back to bleeding? Is this a pump and dump? What's going on here? So I'll do more work on that chart and more work on this project. I need to understand it better. EOS. I've got EOS on here because a lot of people that like it, a lot of people that follow it. It's another competitive platform like Algorand or ADA or Ethereum. Caution with EOS, there's a bunch of legal issues. One of the co-founders was kicked out and they're suing each other, and just a bunch of drama. And generally speaking, I like to avoid drama on that. But we were talking about this morning in the Telegram group. We're in a descending wedge pattern, looks like to me, and we're fighting with some resistance here. When this breaks out, this might give us another altcoin play somewhere in here. But again, not my favorite platform, and there's a lot of drama with them, but there's a lot of people that support it, so it might be worth looking at. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. We're at 24 minutes. I was going to go into the Bitcoin dominance, but I think what I'm going to do is do another video on some updated Bitcoin analysis. I do think that this cycle is going to be a little bit different. So maybe next video here, I'll tee this up. I was supposed to do an ADA video for my next video, but I want to make sure I put proper thought into that, and I want to prepare for that one. So these are just brain dumps I'm doing, but that one I do want to prepare for because I want to make sure I have my notes straight. I don't want to be just off the cuff talking about a lot of the more details in that one. But it looks like my little, this is my, so Jordan had his little blue box. I have my little red, my danger zone box here. And I thought we touched it and fell down out of that danger zone box that I drew initially. And this is Bitcoin. And then we're popping up in here. Now it looks like we might be finally falling back out. I've been kind of thinking when we finally lose this level, it's really going to start to unwind as far as the sell-off here that we're expecting. So the next video, I'm going to do some updates on my Bitcoin analysis. I do think this cycle is going to be different. I think we're going to have different interactions with the prior all-time high than we did that last cycle. So let me pause here, and I'll light up a new video to talk about that. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Oh, let me, I guess, like and subscribe and all that jazz. I don't know what else to say about all that. I don't really care if you guys like and subscribe, to be honest with you. If you like the content, like and subscribe. If you don't, then have a good day.